So let's go ahead and create other DAX measures. Okay, we are done creating some measures in Power Query. Let's try and do um some DAX measures. Okay, so now let's go ahead and calculate the post invoice sales, right? So when we come here, we have discount percentage and other deduction percentage. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll go to fact actual estimate, right? Come to new columns. Okay, then with new columns we'll type post invoice deductions. Okay, that is equal to, we use measure called calculate, then max. The reason why I'm using max is that max brings out it brings out a figure, a separate figure. Okay, if you don't use max, it's difficult for you to obtain that. So the reason why we are using max is that max and min helps to filter a particular figure. That is one reason. And that reason is that if you don't use max, then it's difficult for you to trace the table. Okay, so for example, if I just say calculate into bracket post, see, nothing will pop up. Okay, but if I say max, right, then post, so I can now get it. I cannot get a table. So we say post invoice discount amount, right? Then we'll close it. Okay, then we'll enter calculate post. Then sorry, so we have to close this here. So now say comma, then related table, and it's found here, manufacturing. No, that is post invoice deduction. Okay, then we'll close it and close it. Right. Press equal to. So let's wait for it to work it on. Let's wait for it to work or load. But remember, this is in percentage. We want an amount, right? So post invoice deduction amount, and we'll make this a variable. Okay, SKY. That is my initial. You can use any letter you want. Okay, so this, then return SKY multiplied by our net invoice sales. Okay, our net invoice sales. Yep, and press OK. So that is our post invoice deduction amount, right? Post invoice deduction amount. Yes, so let's wait for it to load. That is it, right? Okay, so with this now, we can also go ahead and calculate our post invoice other deductions. Okay, so come to new column, then type post invoice other deduction amount, right? Okay, so that's equals to, then use the calculate, then max. Okay, so with max, as we did the previous time, we'll use post deduction order deduction, right? And close to bracket, related table, then post invoice. Okay, close it. Alright, press enter. And let's see what happens here too. Okay, this is also in percentage, right? So let's create a variable. So var sky. As I said, sky is my initial, so you can decide to choose anything that you want. And so return sky, that is this times net invoice sales, right? Okay, then you get your post invoice order deduction amount, right? So we wait for it to load. Yes, so with this, after having our post invoice deduction amount and post invoice order deduction amount, we can now go ahead and calculate our net sales amount. Okay, so new column, right? Then net sales, sorry, sales amount, that is equal to net sales minus, sorry, yes, invoice sales minus post invoice deduction amount minus post invoice deduction order amount, right? And equal to, and let's see what we get. Net sales amount. Okay, so let's check. Sometimes when you do these things, it's better for you to check if what you are doing is right. Okay, so let's say we have 392.9366 minus 55.119 minus 52.7582. What would you get? 285.059. Okay, so that means it's correct, right? It is correct. Okay, so that means you're on the right path. Now, after calculating our net sales amount, we'll go ahead and calculate we'll go ahead and do other calculations, okay? Whereby we need to calculate our cost of goods sold. After calculating our cost of goods sold, we can then get our gross margin, right? And looking at the information that we have here, manufacturing costs and freight costs, they constitute the cost of goods sold. Now, when we expand freight cost, when we look at something here, we have freight percentage and other cost percentage. Okay, so when we expand manufacturing cost, we have manufacturing cost. So what we'll do is that we're going to find the amount for manufacturing cost, the amount for freight, and other costs. So when we sum them together, we'll get our total cost of goods sold. So let's continue and find our manufacturing cost. Okay, so new column, right? New column. Then we'll call it manufacturing costs. Okay, manufacturing costs, right? That is equal to calculate the max, right, of manufacturing, right? And we want this one. Okay, then related table, then manufacturing costs. Okay, yes, but you should bear in mind that we need to multiply manufacturing cost with the quantity, okay, to get the amount, right? So let's give this a variable as always, sky, and let's say return sky by quantity. Okay, yeah, so let's see what happens. Manufacturing costs, and that's it, right? So let's go ahead and calculate for freight. Okay, let's go ahead and calculate for freight. And with freight, we have new column. So freight equals to freight cost equals to let's calculate the max of freight. We use this one, freight, this one, comma, related table is freight cost. Okay, now it's a percentage. Okay, so we want to find the amount. So let's give this a variable, as always, variable, call this sky, then return sky by, we'll multiply this with net sales amount. Okay, net sales amount, this one, sorry, and let's see what we get. So these are freight costs. Okay, but we have other deductions too, right? The same freight cost, we have other deductions, right, or other costs. So we'll come to new column. So freight to back other costs. Okay, so calculate max of freight other costs, comma, bracket, related table, freight. So that's where we can find it. And I think is that one. Let me just press enter. Let me see if it's a percentage or not. Okay, it's a percentage. So what we'll do is let's expand it. Then let's give it a variable sky. Then let's say return sky by multiply with net sales. Okay, net sales amount. Okay, that is it, right? Press enter to give us the freight other costs, right? So we now have manufacturing costs, freight costs, and freight other cost. Okay, let me spell it up. It's EI, sorry. So we can now have total cost. Okay, so we'll come here, then say total cost of goods sold. Okay, which is equal to manufacturing plus freight plus freight other costs. That'll give us total costs. Okay, just 141. Right. Then bear in mind this should be in currency. This should also be in currency. Okay. Then this should also be in currency. Now, so if you have this, now subtracting total costs from this will give us our net sales. Okay, will give us our net sales, right? So we'll come here, then type net sales equals to the sales amount minus total cost. net sales. So that's a net sales. Sorry, that'll give us our gross margin. Sorry, not net sales. Gross margin. Gross margin amount. Sorry, not net sales. Sales. Yes, so that's it. That's our gross margin amount, right? We subtracting total costs from our net sales. Okay. So if we can check. We can check. Let's check. Let's check. If our net sales is 285.0594 minus 141.5843 140.6. Yeah, that's correct, right? Yeah. So these are the measures that we've created in DAX. Okay, and one of the things that can also reduce the size of our file is we can just make these things 2 decimal places. Okay, so let's say 2 decimal places, just to reduce the file. Okay, let's change everything to 2 decimal places. Okay, yeah, 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. It helps, yeah, because our aim is to reduce the size of it. Okay, so we'll do the same thing for here. 2 decimal places. Here 2 decimal places. So we'll do the same thing for the rest. Okay, 2 decimal places. 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 Okay, and one thing, let's look at something here. See, total costs and gross margin. We can calculate them. These things, when we remove them, since we have manufacturing, freight, and freight other costs, it can help us to calculate total costs simple, and that can also help us to calculate gross margin amount simple. So in actual sense, if we delete total cost of goods sold and gross margin amount, it won't be it won't be a problem, because at the end of the day, since we have manufacturing costs, freight, and freight other costs, we can calculate them when we need them. The reason why we are doing is that we just want to make sure we reduce the sizes of it. Okay, so yes, we can take off this and that from it. It won't be an issue. Okay, it won't be an issue at all. So let's say delete this, then also come here, we'll say delete this. Okay, yeah. Now when we come to okay, so let's go to powerquery. Okay, and let's see something that it seems that is facts actual estimate is the one that is taking most of our space, right? So we can do something about it. No, sorry. Continue. I don't know why this keeps showing up. Okay, let's wait for it to load. Yeah, this is the part that takes a lot of space. Okay, so we can do something about it. We can remove this one. It won't be a problem. We can remove this one. Then we can remove this and that. But you see, look at something. When we moved it, it should have affected net invoices, right? But you should remember that these things are being connected to our MySQL, right? So if, for example, we want to calculate those things back, we can, it will pick it from MySQL. So even though we've moved it in our database, it's still there. The reason why we moved it is that we just want to reduce the size of our file. So yes, anytime we have issues like this, we need to sit down and ask ourselves which are the files that we can take off, we can trade off, that can increase our performance and reduce our storage. Okay, and if you look at these things, you can determine which ones to take off and which ones to take off. Okay, so we taking them off, it won't really affect it, all in the name of reducing the size of our file, because when your file size is so big, it's difficult for it to load. Okay, yeah, so basically that is it. Then we'll click on load and apply. So I think we are okay with it. No, so we'll just click close and apply for it to apply. Okay. Okay, so we successfully calculated our measures in DAX. Okay, remember we use calculate, max, and return. Okay, so that's it. In our next video, we'll start creating the visuals for our finance report. Okay, thank you so much.